Fresh is the word.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fresh is the Word. Hello, I'm your host, K Fresh. This is episode number 19, and today is Tuesday, February 23rd. I usually drop them on a Monday, but I really haven't been feeling well the past week, and yesterday included. But then also, I went to WWE's Monday Night Raw last night here in Detroit, so I just wanted to put it off a day so I could include my experience going to that into this week's podcast. And boy, dude, it was exciting. I mean, as a whole, it was a good show. They had its, moments, little boring moments. But the best part about we're on the road to WrestleMania. It's 40 days away today. And so things are starting to shape up now. WWE's, last pay-per-view was on Sunday on Fastlane. It was a good pay-per-view. The Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens match was awesome. The AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho match was awesome. But as a whole, everything was expected. There really wasn't any shockers. Roman Reigns won the triple threat match against Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar to become the number one contender to go against Triple H at WrestleMania for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So last night was the fallout of Fastlane, and it went off to a amazing start. They were giving out the Vincent J. McMahon Legacy Award. So, Vince came down to the ring to present it, and he presented it to his daughter, Stephanie McMahon. And it was like, no shit. It was going to be somebody like Vince, or it was going to be someone like Stephanie or Triple H. It was going to be some sort of nepotism. Holy shit. Okay, whatever. But in the middle of her accepting the award, biggest shocker of 2016 thus far, the return of Shane McMahon, Vince's son, Stephanie's brother. He hasn't been on TV in years. And he comes down to the ring, interrupts. He says he pretty much is saying that he has something over Vince. He helped him out a few years ago to get him out of a real big jam. And he has something over. And what he wants in the end is control over Monday Night Raw. And pretty much when you have control over Monday Night Raw, you have control over the whole company. So Vince's reply was, he can have control if he wins one match at one time. And the match that he presents to Shane McMahon is Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. Whoa, dude, I don't even know what to think about it. I didn't know what I'm live in attendance with a couple of my boys, and we're like, we have no idea what just happened there. We're like, holy shit, dude, what just happened? Like, oh, that crazy, yo, like, oh my goodness. So that is going to be one of the matches at WrestleMania 40 days. Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. If Shane wins, he gets control over Monday Night Raw. If Undertaker wins, I don't think they said what would happen. I don't know what happens with Undertaker. I don't think that was really decided yet. But Vince gets something. But the rest of the show was pretty good. It was a good steady. There wasn't a lot of there's nothing revealing. New Day came out in a 6-man tag against the Lucha Dragons and Neville. They didn't even cut a promo. I was disappointed on that. Kevin Owens wasn't even on the show. Really disappointed on that. Another thing that was revealed is that Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks will go against each other to find out who the number one contender is to go against Charlotte at WrestleMania. My vision is something's going to go on in that match between Sasha and Becky, and they're both gonna win or something. So they're both gonna face Charlotte at WrestleMania in a triple threat match. But I would also love it to be a one-on-one match. I don't know. We'll see what's going on, but super exciting things going on the road to WrestleMania. Because come Sunday, we didn't know what was going to go on in WrestleMania. There was only one match pretty much booked after Fastlane, and that was after Roman Reigns won. Again, so he'd be facing Triple H at WrestleMania. So awesome. We got a few. We're starting to pave the way to get to WrestleMania now. Other big news, something everybody in the wrestling world already kind of knew, but the WWE made it official on Sunday, is the official signing of Japan's Shinsuke Nakamura to WWE NXT. He'll be coming there on WrestleMania weekend. He'll be perform. He'll be booked for a match at NXT Takeover Dallas, and the what we've already known is he's going to be going against Sami Zayn, which that's going to be crazy. So, welcome to the WWE, Shinsuke Nakamura. I can't wait to see you. Dude, I'm just fantasy booking everybody that I want to see him go against right now. It's like the same thing when AJ Styles came. Like, oh my god, who could we see? And one thing that's very disappointing is with the retirement of Daniel Bryan, we won't see a Daniel Bryan versus Nakamura match. And that was one of the reasons why Nakamura came to WWE, because he wanted to have a match with Daniel Bryan. So that's a bit of a disappointment. So, what can you do? On some music news, I want to touch upon something that I talked about last week. It was in regards to the quote unquote, feud between House Shoes and Maureen Ma Dukes Yancey and the whole Dilla Foundation. Okay, since then, some things have come out. Not even about the feud, but just about the whole thing in general. Since then, House Shoes has also released the final edition of his King James mix, which is a mix of original Dilla samples that he used to create his beats. And he's getting a lot of great press on that. But the other thing is Mass Appeal Records, which is the label that Nas started, just announced the release of the Diary, an album of Jay Dilla's music that he put together for his major label solo release back in 2002 on MCA Records. A lot of the stuff is leaked on the internet already, but these are like final versions, whatnot. And this is the actual stuff that he would actually want to come out, So that's coming out in April. But the thing is back then House Shoes sold 2 beats to Dilla for that album. And I know they at least recorded one. And that one, it's called The Introduction, is actually the single that they're promoting the album with. And it's awesome, and it's great. You can go online and check it out. It's called The Introduction. And he's getting a lot of great press about that. The thing is, and this is coming from my total wrestling mind state, this is coming from a wrestling sort of thinking, that after that article, that interview that Hip Hop DX dropped with the interview with Ma Dukes, it kind of, especially with its timing, but it also with the good press that House Shoes is getting with that single and with that mix, is actually making House Shoes look better, because in that interview, Ma Dukes was actually questioning how close of friends House Shoes and Dilla were in real life when he was still alive. And follow me right now. Just follow me right now. Let's go back to 2002. This is a time when House Shoes was just pretty much a thing here in Detroit. At that time, I don't think he ever did a DJ gig outside of Detroit. He was a big name here, but he didn't really go outside of Detroit at all. I don't think he ever did. And for someone like Dilla to actually purchase 2 beats for a major label record that's going to have major label talent on on it, like people rap, like he was going to get certain major label rappers to rap on it, and to have all the talent that we already have in Detroit to pick house shoes to get a couple beats for, has to say that you have a certain amount of respect and friendship for that person. So I think it's wrong to question. I think it just came out wrong to question House Shoes' actual friendship when Jay was still alive. And I feel like when it comes down to it, the way that article was executed, when it actually was published, in comparison to the good press that House Shoes has been getting with the mix and the single for that album, is actually making House Shoes look better, and making Hip Hop DX and the whole J Dilla Foundation look a bit petty at this point, because this is like old shit. It's been over a year and a half since like Shoes said the bad comments that he said, and he did things to try to apologize and make up. And you're bringing up old shit. Are you going to continue to bring up old shit? So I just feel like at this time, and the fact that House Shoes didn't, he made little comments about it on his Twitter about the article, but he didn't go into it. And anytime he wanted it to be interviewed about it, he just declined. And he's only been wanting to interview about his music, his Street Corner music label, and the artist that he is rapping on, that is putting out there. That's all he wants to talk about, which is good. And I feel like when it comes down to it, it made him look good. And this is not, I'm not picking sides, but just the way it's looking right now, House Shoes came out looking better in regards to this. And I feel like that interview and that article backfired. So hopefully we can all just get past this now. I don't know what else there is to talk about in regards to the whole Dilla legacy and who said what and who said who. There's nothing really much more to talk about, you know. So let's just put things to rest. Try to move on. And if anybody wants to apologize to anybody else at this point, try to mend fences. Let's start going there, because this shit just continues to get petty. So there. Okay, for this week's episode, I have a really cool band that I interviewed. They're not a household name yet, but they're a Metro Detroit, like more like indie alternative band. They go by the name of Stories Untold. They are a super cool group of guys. I was their music, this band was kind of brought forth to me by a friend of mine, and I was like, all right, they sound pretty cool. And getting to hang out with them, they're just like a really hardworking, cool band. Recently, they had a headlining show at the Crowfoot in Pontiac, and amazing turnout. Amazing turnout. Such a good vibe. Everybody was just having fun. It was cool just to shoot the shit with the band members, and with just everybody there. They're all young kids. They're all 21 right now. They just finished working on an album that's gonna be out this spring, and it sounds really good. I got to hear it. It sounds really good. If you're like into like sort of music of like Taking Back Sunday, that's the type of thing that they're on. The show was just really awesome. Even everybody that opened up were like really good bands. Like there's this band called Rumors, and the Banshee Pilot, and what was the other one? There's Shapes and Colors. They were all really good bands, and it was just a fun show, start to finish. And I got to and before all this, I got to hang out with them. We did an interview, and it was just a really fun interview, man. They're really cool kids. We just talked about, how they got into music, and working on the album, how they got better as a band, and it was just cool. It was just a cool time ahead. So definitely check out for these kids. They're really good. They're really good peoples. So let's get to the interview with Stories Untold. Looks like a scam gun.
A little bit, yeah.
I didn't even realize that until recently. I was interviewing like kids outside the Twisted show at the Majestic, and I bring it out and one's like, "Oh shit!" You get stunned. I'm like, "Oh no! It's just a."
I had something different in mind. I was thinking like a futuristic sex toy.
Wow.
You guys, I don't know about you guys. All right, introduce yourselves.
All right, well, I'm Jake.
I'm Brennan.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Kevin.
Awesome. So, how did this band start?
Oh, that's Jake.
All right, well, interesting enough. Sorry. So, still, yeah. Anyway, when we had our old bass player Alex in the band, he left for the Navy. But back when we were first doing our first semester in college, like him and I, we wanted to do a movie, like a post-apocalyptic movie. So we had no idea what we were doing. We're just like, hey, we're gearing towards the end of our semester. Let's just start doing this. Okay. So we start doing, getting everything going. We write a short script, and we're using our phone cameras and stuff to record what scenes we have written, and we go take it back. We start editing it, hey, we need some music for this. So, we're like, hey Tim, we need you to come over, because he was the only guitar player we knew at the time. And hey Tim, you need to come over and write really creepy music for us. Okay, we had no idea what we were doing. We had no idea how to record any of it. I think we recorded it on our phones, but we just started doing that. And he comes over, it'd be really cool if we got some drums and stuff to this. And I hopped on drum kit for a little while and started doing that. And eventually we just got Brennan to come over and do it. And we ended up writing this really terrible song. The most awful thing you've ever heard.
Yeah.
Because none of us have been in a band before. We just started doing it. We're trying to write the music for this movie, and then one time when we all come over and trying to write, I'm like, hey guys, guys want to try playing a song? Okay, what song? And I came up with some lyrics and my own guitar part. I play guitar here and there, and start playing it for them. We all just started writing together. We got Brennan to come over, play drums. Our old bass player, he learned bass. I think he bought a bass at the time just so he could play it.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin, he wasn't even in the band at this point. No. But we just started playing like that, and eventually we wrote enough songs. We went through probably about 10 different band names in the course of 2 weeks.
What were some of the
shit. We had Befriend the Giant. That was one of them.
Someone familiar.
Fetus the Snail.
Fetus the Snail.
Fetus, comma, the snail.
All right, and then that switched into I have diabetes, and you see my middle name on Facebook is Beatus. So we went from Fetus the Snail to Beatus the Frail.
I forgot about that. We had a lot of
That's the first I've heard that one.
Sneetus the Fail.
So
We
and that's basically how we got started. We went through a lot of changes. I mean, we were at one point we were a 6-piece, and we all went had different things in mind. Alex went into the Navy. We went through a couple singers, and we got to the point where it's hey, we just wanted to be us. So we got to the point where it's just us four, and for a while now we've been taking everything a lot more seriously and writing more music we want to write. Our music style's gotten a lot better. We've gotten a lot better musicians. I just picked up guitar so I could play. I don't think Kevin. Well, you played a little bit before that.
Yeah.
Kevin started out playing keys for us, filling in.
and screaming.
Yeah, and screaming. He was originally our screamer.
That never happened.
That was fun.
Back in the Icy Stars days,
Oh.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Oh, you have anything else?
We may or may not have done a couple terrible covers that will never be released, but I think one of the very first things we did was asking Alexandria.
Oh God!
Why would you say that? Yeah. A candlelit dinner with Inamorta. I remember that.
And that was like, I think the very start of us trying to sound heavy. And I don't know, I mean, we just kind of kept like trying to, for the first while write, heavy music, except we weren't really good at it. So like eventually we found our niche, and we still have a little bit of like a post-hardcore influence in our music, and still like, jamming those heavy songs, but being able to do it in a different way, you know?
Yeah, right. I when we go to those heavy shows, I just every time I'm like, I don't understand how to write this music. It's just I'm like, I like this chord. It sounds happy or it sounds sad. I'm like, I don't get the da da ba da da da. I'm like, I don't know where the scale is for that or anything. I'm like, I know there's a lot of opens and ones, but that's all I understand.
I guess as far as the band goes, I mean, I think the reason that we were able to stay together and keep doing this is like I've been best friends with Kevin since first grade, and then
I was gonna ask, like, how'd you guys all kind of meet?
High school.
Before, outside of the band.
Yeah.
I met all of them in high school. They knew each other in middle school.
Yeah, Jake and I, we were in percussion ensemble all throughout middle school and high school, so we've been dealing with music for a big part of our lives, but never in like the form of a rock band, for lack of a better term. So that's how I met Jake. Then Brennan, met him like first or second grade. We had the same. Yeah, we had the same exact bully. So we were like,
oh,
we share that bond.
You're not mean to me. We can be friends.
Yeah, we got beat up together.
Like, oh, he's bullying you. Oh, he's bullying
Dude,
Let's be friends. Friends forever.
That's awesome.
And I lived with Tim now. I think that's really why it worked. I mean, we were hanging out with each other on the weekends regardless, but I don't know, we just got sick of like doing nothing. We wanted to build something. We wanted to do something with our time that was constructive. And even when we didn't want to make a career out of this, we just always had that drive just to, be better. We asked ourselves every single time we released a song, and we're like, well, how do we do it better? Like, what's the next step?
Yeah.
And it took a while to kind of figure out our path, but I think things are going pretty well now. I'm really happy with where we're headed.
It was like, when we started, we were just doing it for fun, obviously, and like we started booking more shows, and it was fun playing the shows, but like it just seemed like there had to be more to it, because for some reason we still wanted to play the shows, but like we wanted more people to actually see us. We didn't just want to be one of those cover bands that went and played a show to like 20 people every night, and we didn't want to close down bars either.
Right, and nobody wants to see people playing instruments at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's what I like these days. Like, people are getting a little bit smarter and having the earlier shows.
Yeah.
And I love that. I come from a hip hop background, so my local hip hop shows would be running to 2, and always late, and
yeah, like some of the local shows will run until like 1 a.m, and I'm just like, it's so late. I gotta go home. Like, I got work at 6. What's happening here?
I don't want to hear anybody playing an instrument or singing or rapping like after midnight. Like, you can just play other people's music at that point. Man. You can have a DJ or something, man. After that, I don't want to hear anybody doing any sort of musicmanship at all after midnight.
Yeah, I mean that's times there's different things going on then,
It gets loud.
Right.
The volume keeps going up. Everybody keeps losing their hearing. So as the night goes on,
Bars get louder throughout
the
the
bar
night,
gets
man.
louder.
Well, how old are you guys right now?
We're all 21.
Oh, man, y'all are so young.
They're babies.
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 Yeah.
Guess who's the youngest?
No, seriously. Just try it. Just try it.
Oh. Dude, that is so hard. I'll say him.
Second youngest.
Second youngest.
He's the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah. And he looks the oldest.
He's actually the oldest.
He's the oldest.
He has the most facial hair out of anybody.
Exactly.
This is all I can do, by the way. That's about it.
Don't give up hope. When I was younger, I couldn't do all this and do this, Now I got this beard coming down. This is the first time I've actually tried to grow a beard this long in my life. I can't believe it's this long now.
Like, it's a dream. You're keeping the dream alive for us.
Yeah.
You are. I have hope that one day I will be able to be a man.
Yeah. just because you're no longer teenagers doesn't mean there's no hope. There might be hope that you could have facial hair one of these days.
I appreciate it.
We're not catching up.
Just wait. It'll just come out of nowhere. You'll wake up one morning like Teen Wolf.
Oh wow.
It's weird because my cousin's 16 and he has a bigger beard than I do.
It happens it happens like that. You'll see that like 12-year-old that has like a porn stash or something.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's hanging out with.
I'm like,
Here's the
what's
funny.
in your food?
That's the funniest thing is like imagine like before your first shave, like when you realized that you had facial hair, just a little bit. How long you were walking around with it on your face before you realized it?
I had that pedo stash for way too long. Just saying. I remember, like, my dad was like, "You should shave that thing," and I'm like, "What thing?" And I was like, eventually, it was like, okay, I see what you're talking about now. I didn't notice it. I didn't think I had any hair there.
Exactly. It's just something you don't think about. You could have been walking around with that like all of like sophomore year.
And everyone's like, ew.
Exactly.
And I wondered why no girls would talk to me.
Exactly.
I was like,
Why did I never get laid in high school? Makes sense.
You see that thing above his lip?
It's a porn stash. That's the greatest part of it. That should get you laid, right? Logically.
maybe.
No, I think logically, right? Logically, I don't think that happens. It's just something that you have. If you're
What? Porn's not real. That's not how the situation goes. The pizza guy doesn't just come to the door and then, it escalates from there. Exactly. Come on the door.
to truly have a porn stash, you gotta be in porn. But if you're not in porn,
And
you're
you're-
just creepy.
Okay.
That's fair.
You're like Uncle Lester.
I think, can we agree on that? Is that common ground?
Yeah. That makes sense.
All right.
I'm glad we solved this.
Case closed.
All right, okay, so once you're, kind of solidifying this band and just kind of trying to figure out where you want to go with it, what was some sort of like the musical influences that you had that kind of pointed you just creatively in the direction that you're in?
So just go around the circle.
For sure. Well, I know, just kind of to start off, that answer is we all, grab influences from different places.
A lot of different places.
Kevin and I are into totally different music.
Yeah.
Him and I do not listen to the same stuff at all.
They're the main writers of the band as
Okay.
well.
We managed to take aspects from different genres and just kind of pull it together. I know, for example, when I'm writing it, I'll listen to one band one day, like, okay, I kind of like this part. Listen to what I wrote. Something needs some more work. Listen to another band. It's like, one day I'll listen to A Day to Remember, write to that. Next day I'll write to I don't know. I'll take something from Mozart or Brian Tyler, and be like, hey, this kind of, feels cool. Like this type of melody is cool, and I'll write to that. And, I'll just, I like, all sorts of music, post-hardcore. Surprisingly, I like classical music a lot, like ambient music. And we can all kind of get on board with Taking Back Sunday and Brand New as well. That's something we all share in common. But I kind of have a more post-emo genre, personally, that I kind of drive from a lot. I know Brennan's a little bit different in what, for his style of drumming. What do you take from?
Yeah. So for me,
I was going to try to give an example, but I figured you should answer that.
Yeah. So for me, the first two bands in my life I listened to were Our Lady Peace and the Beatles. And then as far as drumming, when I got the kit, I was in high school, and it was immediately Incubus, Muse, Billy Talent, kind of a lot of alt rock. And then eventually just kind of shifted. I always challenged myself, so I dug through some metalcore because that was really tough for a while for me to figure out, the breakdowns and stuff. But lately, it's just been kind of into more just technical stuff, kind of Circus Survive, Hail the Sun, that sort of thing. But I enjoy jamming to pretty much all genres of music. And as far as kind of like what influences me, like, yeah, like Taking Back Sunday and Brand New, I think are a couple bands that, you know, if you dig those bands, I think you kind of dig the stuff that we're laying down. And for my drumming style as well, I'm just really dig what we're laying down, just slipping it in there, just check it out.
Slipping on there.
They caught me
As soon as
slipping.
he said that, I'm like taking a drink, and that's I knew you guys were gonna say something about when he said that.
But anyways, that's like the last thing I want to mention. As far as like my drumming style and stuff, it's I was never formally trained on the drums, but my dad's been playing for 30 years, and you know I'm wearing his necklace right now. He's a huge influence on me, and I play with like passion. Like I feel it, and I've collabed with Jake a lot. I've collabed with everybody here a lot, and it's just kind of whenever they're playing guitar chords and there's a solid vocal hook where it's just pushing, I always just try to accent that, and you know just. I don't really lead too much on the drums, but I just try to match everything that's going on and just kind of keep everything cohesive. So that's kind of, I guess, my drumming style, if that makes sense.
He's got an interesting style. I'll say that. he likes to follow a lot of stuff, but at the same time he takes something and like he follows, but he goes away from it at the same time. It's weird. But for me lately, what a lot of influence I've been finding is like I'll watch like TV shows and movies, and I'll listen to scores and the music that's playing on the TV show and like the motion that is being displayed on the show itself, and I draw influence from that as to how it would impact other people and like the notes that are being played, the way that the vocals are being sung and stuff like that. But that's what I've been doing lately. What mostly my influence just came from like honestly, I like Guitar Hero and Rock Band were the reason I started playing. I'm not even kidding. I'm not ashamed to say that either.
That's such like a this generation sort of thing.
It's so true. And it's like Guitar Hero 2, man, Sweet Child of Mine. I was like, you know, I like this song. I'm gonna learn it on real guitar. So I did. I didn't. It was hard. And, you know, I started playing, and I didn't really get to play with anyone else. I mean, like, I played with him a little bit in high school every now and again, and then, you know, we started the band after. But, like, I was in a half a semester of jazz band, or a full semester.
Yeah. Well, yeah, full semester, half a year.
Half a year of jazz band in senior year, and they had already gone over scales and everything, so I just had to learn on the fly, basically, and I didn't know anything. But that's basically where I learned, like, my lead style from. And so, like, I like to listen to a lot of, like, indie folk, too. That's, like, one of my favorite genres of music. And then, yeah, I'll listen to almost anything, though. He shows me a lot of stuff. Like, some days I'll just come home listening to, like, the ghettoist rap, and I'll just be like, I don't understand how this happened, but I'm okay with it. Yeah.
I love doing drums to, like, you know, some, like, just rap tracks. It's just a blast. But
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, and then I grew up listening to a lot of like Weezer, Death Cab. Brendan mentioned Our Lady Peace. That was like the family band. Just everyone in my family loved Our Lady Peace, so I was always jamming to that. And then like as I got older, I started listening to like Sum 41, Blink 182. Dipped into like Taking Back Sunday, and then Brand New, as they said. And then more recently, I've kind of dipped into like more like indie rock, stuff like that. My favorite band from Indian Lakes, I pull a lot of, everyone's looking at me now because they know. Oh yeah, and then, okay. But yeah, from Indian Lakes, they are like a huge inspiration to me. Yeah. I'm getting a lot of looks from everyone because they just know from Indian Lakes is my band.
dude, from Indian Lakes is life, man.
Yeah.
No,
So everyone should check out From Indian Lakes. I'm just going to promote.
This is from their actual font themselves. That's the A in the font, right?
It's
Oh,
actually
okay.
from Indian Lakes.
Yeah, I had to go to Indian Lakes to get it. That's a terrible joke.
Anyways.
Boom.
Yeah, but then like we all have like totally different influences, and then it just like comes together, and then it's what we
You
are.
blend all the ideas together, and somehow sometimes it works. No, some of the other times you're like, some of the other times you're just like, well, why are you trying to throw like a flute sample over the top of this metalcore guitar part right now? What is happening? It was like,
Because I feel
just
like
let me try it.
you never know.
And yeah, but like I would say definitely, because like the first concert that I think we all went to together was Sum 41 for the Friday at Bitches Ball when they played it the Fillmore.
Royal Oak.
Yeah, Fillmore.
For free.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
After that, you know, like I think that was like the moment that we all started hanging out. After that, like I'd hung out with him, but I didn't really hang out with him.
Yeah, I never really hung out with Tim too much. I'd actually bully him in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, you bastard.
What happened is he bullied him too, and he wasn't the nicest to Kevin.
I bullied everybody in the band, and I still do.
So I had other friends in high school, and then they started hanging out with him. So then him and all of what were my friends started making fun of me. So then I was like, you know, I'm not going to hang out with these people anymore. So then I was by myself for like a little bit.
Aw.
And then he found Kevin.
Sad story.
And then I found Kevin.
Aw. The BFFs.
I love how we're talking about high school right now. I'm like, why?
It's the origin. It's the origin of how this happened.
That's true, yeah.
It's
And
about
that's only
you.
a few years
It's
ago for you
about
guys.
it's about you being a douchebag and causing us to be friends somehow. I don't get how that works.
I don't know why they're in a band with me. I don't know.
You're
Ask
kind of
myself
like
that question every day.
you're kind of like I guess maybe like the Stifler of the group or something.
Maybe you rule by power.
Something like that.
He rules by power.
We're
yeah.
just afraid what will
Subconsciously,
happen
we
if
don't
we
know.
quit.
Yeah. He's gonna kick me out if I quit.
You guys are all his cronies.
Oh my god.
Okay, like when you guys are just working on music, writing music, what's sort of the process? How do you guys kind of bounce ideas off each other?
Oh man.
So I know Kevin and I are the primary songwriters. I know all the lyrics that we have been written by either me or him. And I know the writing process is different. The writing process is different, from what I do from what he does. But for the most part, I'll sit there and I'll write the lyrics, and it's obvious. I want to hear how the songs, like I can hear it in my head, so I'll write out a guitar part for it, and I'll just kind of get like a general idea. Basically play a guitar part throughout the whole song. Basically get the chord structure, and then I'll bring it forward. And then we'll just go from there. A few of the songs have been written a little bit differently as well. I mean, when I was able to have access to sound programming like Logic, I wrote out quite a bit of the songs for a couple of them, and we were able to do some cool stuff with some MIDI parts, and it just made those few songs really unique. So. And then of course bring it together, and obviously everybody will add their own parts, add their own flair, add their own style. And sometimes we'll completely take a song, take that whole second half of it. They'll tell me they hate it, and we'll just completely rewrite it. And I'll be like, damn, that breaks my heart. But we'll do it anyway. And there's a lot of tension and a lot of twisting and pulling, but somehow we'll manage to collaborate and get this song written.
It's usually me.
It's usually him. It's usually him. But I mean, it's okay because without that, if I'm sitting there and I write the entire song out, it's gonna turn out like garbage. It's just gonna be me. There's not gonna be a band. It's got to be all of us. So we all take our own parts. We all hey, this is cool. Hey, this isn't cool. Let's rewrite it. This is all right, but it's missing something. So basically, we'll just start from the bottom and just build up and take it part by part, see what I like, see what we don't like. Sometimes there's been a few instances where I bring a song to the table and yeah, that's cool. And
so Kevin, you have a song.
And I'll be like, I'll be pushing for it for a few weeks, guys, let's go over this song. Yeah, but let's do this song first. Let's do this one first, so then we'll get to that at the end of the practice. Okay.
He's found out our ways, guys.
Uh-oh. He's on to us.
I've been well aware.
He looks at me too.
I look at you every time. But I mean, it's necessary. I mean, as much as like sometimes we want to like beat the living hell out of each other at practice. I mean, without that, we it's the different directions, like how we all have different influences, is what makes us. Obviously we don't hate each other. We don't. After practice, after all said and done, after the writing, it's like we're all best friends at the end of the day. Nothing's gonna change that, and we're able to take all these differences. And lately, it's been a lot easier now that we're finally getting into our niche, finally getting into our sound. We all kind of feel each other a lot more. So it's been a lot easier lately and a lot smoother. But that's essentially how I write. Kevin does it.
Yeah, mine. I do like the exact opposite from Jake. Like I will just lock myself in my room and like throw my phone away, turn it off, and then just start writing on guitar. And sort of write the whole entire song on guitar, and without any lyrics or any kind of idea of what I want to do with it. I just write the guitar parts down, and then sort of just based off of like whatever scale I write in or the feel of the song, that's kind of how I pull lyrics to it from experiences in my life, and sort of build it up, record it on my phone with just the lyrics and the guitar part, and then bring it to the band, and then just do whatever with it. Just let them have a ball with it. And
a ball?
A ball. And go from there.
Have a ball.
Yeah, I think
A talking ball?
Have a ball? How old are you?
Can I get the talking ball?
Talking pillow.
Talking pillow. Yeah. So, anyways,
What are we in the 20s or 30s now?
So with Jake's style, I think what's interesting with both of their songwriting styles, it's interesting because we all get a chance to express ourselves, and since we have all these different influences, and we have a lot of roots in kind of that, like 2000s, kind of like post-emo, kind of pop punk. We also have all these weird indie influences and maybe some like ghetto rap influences and who knows what else. So I think it's like something familiar enough where people that are comfortable with that will enjoy it, but also something different enough where it's like, hey, like they enjoy that new aspect as well. And it's weird with Kevin's style, like with Jake's style of songwriting. Very rarely do I keep any drum part ideas that he has for me, like every now and then. But versus Kevin's, like me and him kind of collaborate on drum parts, and he's actually written for his songs. He's written some of his drum parts for me that have stuck, which is, kind of interesting, I think. And then in general, like songwriting, it's something we've been doing since the start, and we've probably written like a good, 30, 40 songs?
Oh, yeah,
legit,
more than that.
if that. And so there's so many that have been axed, and granted, a lot of them were when we were fresh songwriters, and that's just part of the process, but even when we were working on the new material, like for what we're getting ready to launch, there were still countless songs that we had to drop. It's terrible when it's like, I love this song so much, but the other three just aren't feeling it, and it's just like, I'm sure Jake's had that frustration too, because he definitely has written most of the songs, and there's some songs that he's like, I love this song is amazing, we're going to play this song forever, and then we're just like, yeah.
I know a few examples too. I
And
know exactly what
it
you're
sucks.
talking about.
It sucks. Like I feel bad, but I'm like, I just don't feel this song. It's just not what I want out of this. And but I think what's left and done, like I can say with what we're getting ready to release, every song in this album we all love. Like, would you guys agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
And
They're all unique.
I think that's the most valuable thing. I mean, it's worth scrapping songs. It's worth spending hundreds and hundreds of hours, and yeah, you just need that.
Wanting to kill each other, almost every night.
Tim killed me 3 times.
He's a vampire.
Apparently.
Do you have anything to mention about songwriting, Tim?
I think it's really interesting because he listens to like classical and orchestral pieces, and that's where most of his songs are where the samples come in.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting how he can draw influence like that because he can layer like a cello or violin samples with like the guitar, and it just sounds really cool and it's different, in my opinion. Like we have that one song, and you'll hear it eventually. And it's like it's very upbeat orchestral hits over guitar at one point, and it sounds really cool in my opinion. But I think that's like a very interesting way for like both of these two to write. I think I don't think it's really ordinary, I guess. Like, most people probably collab with everyone together, and we do that. So, like, we come to practice, because we used to, when we were writing, we'd jot down what we liked about songs, what we didn't like about songs, and we come together with our lists and talk about it before we wrote, and we go and take part by part by part, and it was very strenuous, but the product is way better than anything like that would have happened if we just decided, well, I mean, we like what the one person's saying, but the rest of the people don't feel it, but it's your song, so keep it, you know. And I think it's valuable that all of us collab in the way we do.
And back to the, you were mentioning like the orchestral parts, and this kind of relates back to the cinematic parts as well. Like, I mean, I just think the future, there's a lot of things that people aren't even aware of what's going on yet, but I mean, I feel comfortable saying that we would return to that cinematic element. I mean, it all started trying to make a movie. Like, you know, I think we have some huge stuff in store. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we're going to bring out the cinematic side, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
How long after you guys, you know, really started writing songs, did you guys feel like it was finally starting to gel between all you guys, and you guys were finding a groove?
It took a while.
It took a while, just because we had our single out, but then after that we just played shows and we didn't really write at all for a few months there.
Mm-hmm.
So then when when it was time to start writing, you know, it was like starting completely over. So I feel like it took at least a month and a half, 2 months to get in the groove.
Yeah, I mean, basically what happened was last year we took a break for about 3 months, and we took that time just to write. I mean, we had always been writing, but we took a break from shows. We're kind of like, we need to restructure and figure our stuff out and, you know, kind of find our sound. And at that point, we had been a band for almost 2 years. So, I mean, writing for 2 years, but we were just always so busy with, like, you know, trying to afford getting, you know, the gear that we needed to play out live and the time that it spent to play out live and selling tickets and getting people out to the shows. And so we're like, let's just focus on just the music. We do that for a while, and then, you know, get the good songs, and everything else should come from there. And so I think that was really when I think we started writing, you know, finding our sound. And I think some of my favorite songs that we have, I think were written that last year, you know, about this time last year. Do you guys remember that?
Round one tracking, man.
And then it was when we started coming back for our shows, we're like, let's get our live set as tight as possible.
Yeah.
And we started taking that really seriously. And that's kind of when we also decided, hey, like, let's make a career out of this. And so,
With the amount of effort and time we were putting in, we figured it was worth it.
and so that's when I think we kind of all started actually collaborating pretty effectively there.
I mean, in terms of your, you know, the live shows, how long did it take to kind of like solidify, you know, a feeling between you guys when you kind of gelling on stage even?
For a long while, we were just like kind of stood there awkwardly.
We didn't know what it was like, what we were supposed to be doing as a band, basically.
Yeah, we were just like, I mean, Jake and I, like I said, we're in percussion ensemble. You're not like, when you're in there with like the whole band orchestra, you're not like back there like jamming out or anything. Like, you got to be back there like standing straight up, like basically like a robot.
Right.
So yeah, so like switching over to like actually like a live band, it was a kind of a long transition, at least for me. Getting like,
especially getting out of your own shell.
yeah, and like feeling the music, not just like trying to play it so perfectly, but actually like feeling it on the inside. It took a while.
Sassy hair flips.
Yeah,
The sassy hair flips. It took a while.
I sat in my basement practicing those for like 20 plus hours.
So I mean, we got the music video coming out next week. Be prepared. We want everybody to count how many sassy hair flips Kevin does in the video.
It's going to be part of our social media.
First person to get it right, we'll send you a sticker or something.
That is great. Oh, my.
Or like you'll have like you know those like pictures where it's like the motion, like you keep the flash
Yeah.
open, and it's a motion. It'd just be like a motion of like him going like that, and his hair's
Hair flips
Everywhere. He's pulling,
hair
he's
flips
channeling,
uncombed, man.
channeling the inner Willow Smith, man. That's all I'm saying.
Dylan, did you hear that one?
Oh, I'll write it down.
No, hair flips uncombed.
That's the name of the new band.
We don't even play instruments. We just flip our hair around.
It's a side project.
We just do vocal notes.
I won't say it on record.
Yeah.
Okay, when you guys are, performing live, kind of what's going on in you guys' heads when you're up there just, playing?
We can go in a circle
Do I
again.
look good?
Do I look hot?
No. I mean, a lot of it, like, I'm still trying to work it out personally. Like, there's a lot of stuff that, like, we got to focus on. And it's always an ever-going process. Like, we're constantly working on our show. We're constantly trying to figure out what can we do better, what can be, improved on. And, I know personally for me, it's like we were just talking about with the stage presence and how we act on stage, with me and Kevin both being in, percussion, it's weird trying to figure out, okay, what's our, my style. I'm a tall and lanky dude, I can't do some things that look good, I'm figuring that out. Like when we watch videos of ourselves.
Yeah, we would film every show.
Yeah.
Just, to learn and see what we were doing right and doing wrong.
And like there'll be times where I'm on stage and like, oh man, I feel like this will look really cool. I saw this in the music video. I think this looks great. I watch it back later and I look like I'm a drunk ballerina. What the hell?
It's like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. It's just oh no, and like we'll listen to it back, and sometimes not recently as much, but like maybe like a year and a half ago, half a year ago, we'll listen to ourselves and I'll be like, was I drunk? What was happening?
it was always like the biggest, the one of the main parts was there. I don't know what song it was, but every time I struggled to do something vocally there, and every time during the set, all of them would just look at me and go, no.
Yeah.
You almost got it that time. No.
So it's like, even now playing, live, it's like, there should be things that, I'm thinking about, like, still reading the crowd, we're still trying to learn how to, do that more effectively than we are now. And definitely it's like, I'm constantly thinking about, do I look like a drunk ballerina? Am I sounding good right now? Do I need to change? And then there's also things like, am I, because I do a lot of the lower parts, the softer parts. So it's like, am I coming out loud enough out there? Do I need to get closer to the mic? It's hard for me to hear back, back a little ways, but they can only turn me up so far before it starts feeding back. So it's like there's a lot going on, and I think there's only been one time where I forgot our lyrics, and I just stuck there. I'm like, Tim, help me. I think there's only been one time,
It was years ago.
Yeah, fortunately. But it's like, and it's like some stuff, we got to kind of put on like robot mode, like it's got to be second nature. That we're still improving on. But I mean, it's just so much stuff is happening, and it's just like an ever-going process. I'm learning, all right, we got to get this right, we got to get this better, and it's going to be hard because one thing as a musician, we're never satisfied with anything. It's just a musician thing. We're never going to be satisfied with what we do, so we always strive to be better. At least that's what's going on in my head while I'm playing anyway.
Yeah. For me, I think the drunk ballerina comment was interesting because although that doesn't work for Jake, that's literally like Tim's signature move.
It kind of is.
I'm 100% serious. I'm like, that's perfect. But no, I think it's been interesting though. It's like how like hearing what's going through Jake's head, but then like what's going through my head. I mean, we've been playing together for years now, and it's like seeing like both Jake and Kevin, just kind of like the transformation into them, like how much they've improved as vocalists and as charismatic frontmen. That's been amazing to me. Like just seeing that, because I'm behind the kit. And for me, it's a little bit different. I'm hooked up to a click track, and I got to be the backbone. Like, me, like, I'm a freaking math major machine. I don't know. I'm just like, I can't mess up. There is no room for error. If I mess up, then the entire set is destroyed. And so what's going through my head is I just lock into the groove. I just feel it. And when I get on stage, it's like a switch goes off in my head. Like I'm pretty calm, relaxed, and one of my old roommates was a soccer player, and he'd talk about before games. It's just all about getting in the zone, all positive, no negative. If you mess up, you're not even really like, you're aware you messed up, but you just keep going, and that's how I am. I get into the zone, and so I get on stage, I play, I do my thing, I usually go kind of nuts, and then the second we're done playing, I'm kind of calmed down and relaxed, and like, it's like a different person, and I remember like little snapshots, but I pretty much forget everything of the performance. I don't remember anything, so it's kind of like, I don't know, I just think that's really, for me, it's just crazy how you can transform into something completely different when you perform.
It was really funny. I am gonna say the one time, like when your bass pedal came unhooked, and it was right at the end of a break, and the song was supposed to kick back in, and he's just like, fuck!
And then the song snaps back in, and it worked perfectly. It was dramatic effect. I did that on purpose.
So great. That was one of our like smallest shows, and I'm so happy it happened there. But like that's one of the most memorable things from a show ever.
And see, I tightened down that bass drum pedal a lot. It was super tight. It's my first time using this pedal. I tightened it down a ton. But now I know you tighten it down a ton, but then you just keep tightening it until it cracks the bass drum hoop. That's when you know it's tight enough. So it does not fall off.
Yeah. I guess for me, it's always making sure, because, with lead guitar, you got all the pedals going on and whatnot. So I'm always making sure everything's set up the way it's supposed to be, that the tap tempo is on time, that I'm on time with him. And then, for me, it's more like technical problems are the only thing that I worry about. Everything else, I'm like, if I spin this way, as long as I don't hit Kevin in the head, we're cool. But, my strap lock came off. That's unfortunate. Maybe I shouldn't spin this way anymore. But that's kind of stuff that goes through my head, is just making sure that, even if we mess up, no one knows. Because, we're entertainers, and you're supposed to be putting on a show. So I just be as ridiculous as possible.
You know what Prince says about making a mistake? Do it again so it makes it look like it was planned.
There you go.
Always sing flat.
That's why I'm just
always sing flat.
I tell you, I'm dropping drumsticks left and right. I'm just throwing them in the air, just giving them to the crowd. Just
break every string.
I broke a freaking floor tom today when I was playing drums for the basketball game, so just break my heads every game,
So
every
I'm just
show.
going to be like, all right, guys, I broke all my strings purposely tonight. We're not going to be able to play. Going home.
And then what's going through my mind,
Sassy hair
if it's a sassy hair flips, and that's it, sassy hair flips. No, but
the many ways he can flip his hair.
There are so many ways.
Other directions.
I whip my hair back and forth.
Yeah, I have math major Brennan over here give me formulas for flipping my hair so I get it just right.
E equals MC hair.
That's still science.
That's the name of the album what was that? Hair flip uncombed?
Yeah.
That's the name of the album.
Dude.
Yeah, if it's a song I write or a song Jake writes, I pull a lot of like personal meaning to it. And so honestly, like when we're playing a show, I kind of just like get lost in the music, for lack of a better term. Like I'm a really like awkward guy in person, so like I still have to like sometimes snap back to reality and
No,
then
you
start.
don't.
Yeah,
Okay.
no way, right? And so like I still have to like, when we get towards the end of the song, I have to like, oh shit, I gotta talk to the crowd in like 30 seconds. What the hell am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
And so like, but most of the time I'm just kind of lost in the music. I kind of just let the music move me and just go with it.
Throughout all the years that you've already been doing shows, what's sort of like the feedback that you get from people that have heard you guys?
Before or
Just now.
Just
That's
now.
where we're at.
Just after shows, whenever what sort of feedback do you get from people that have seen you perform, heard your music?
Yeah, we have this percussion piece in our set, and that's the one thing that people mainly remark on is because we end the single that we're playing with. I don't know if that doesn't make sense, but that we have out right now. At the end of that song, it goes into this like percussion piece that we wrote. Being that they were in percussion in high school, they pretty much wrote it, and all three of us get drums, and we do the long we do stall with guitar until everything's set up, but people mainly dig that, and then we have our closing song gets people really involved too.
So what we do with that closing song, we bring out either a bass drum or a floor tom, kind of depends on what we're doing that night, and we've just been giving it to people in the audience, and so just somebody gets to grab a stick and they get to kind of be a part and share the experience with us. And it's cool, like for Kevin's birthday or Kevin's mom's birthday, he was able to play, or her mom was able to play. For my mom's birthday, she was able to play. And what we do, we don't do it on the stage. We take it out into the crowd, so it's like people get to be a part of it, and we hear a lot of feedback on that, just the interactivity. I've heard a lot of people say that, like the drum thing, like that they've never seen anything like that, and it's just crazy seeing how many people see us one time at this show or that show, and we started getting into the scene about May, and next thing you know, we get people who they literally come to every single show.
No matter how far it is.
It's just been building and culminating, and now it's like we're headlining the Crowfoot Ballroom, and we only have one song released at the current moment in time, and it's like crazy that was able to just build itself. And I think really the root of that was just people were super receptive to the live show, and they just kept telling their friends, and they just came out to every single show, and we do everything we can to make it an experience, and we just make sure that no two sets are the same. I mean, you're going to feel something different. Yeah. No matter what stage it's at, whether it's your small dive bar like we used to play back in the day, or the Crowfoot Ballroom. So. Yeah,
we focus critically on the live show. Like that was, we would practice almost up to 4 hours if we had to, to make sure that it was an experience.
To me, I was for a while there when I had my schedule allowed, I would be running through the set 5 days a week, like a job.
Kind of talk about the present day, like you working on a lot of songs to eventually release an album. Kind of talk about what you guys are doing right now.
So what we're doing right now, we've been real busy. We're doing this interview right now.
Yeah,
that's keeping us busy. But no, actually, we're preparing.
In the chair.
We're preparing.
In the chair, we're all in the living room here.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the album. It's something I pitched the idea to the guys about over a year ago, and it's been just a matter of saving up for the album, tracking it, getting the music videos done, and we're gonna be dropping next week. We're dropping our first single. And then, we're not sure exactly when, but we're working out the details on that. We're going to be doing Are You Gonna Be My Girl by Jet. We did a little cover of that. We re-envisioned it. That'll be out.
We recorded that at Metro 37.
Yep. And so that'll be out before the February 13th show. I think that people are going to really enjoy seeing that one. We debuted it live.
That one's with the video as well.
Yeah, and so we debuted that one live, and we got great reception on that. So we're really excited to see what people think when they hear the actual studio version. And then, everything's been album prep. We're putting, we could have done another, we could have did an EP, but we just wanted to do something big, because it's like, I feel like an EP would not be able to encompass what we have in store. You would not be able to hear all the sides of us that we feel need to be represented. Mm-hmm. And I think when we release this music, I think you're going to get people who love it, or you're going to get people where it doesn't speak to them, and that's fine, but I think it's one of those things where I'm sure there'll be some people who like it, but I think for the most part, if it speaks to you, it's going to speak to you a lot, and you're going to feel connected to it. It's we talk about a lot of topics, and I think it's just something real and authentic, and something that people are going to connect to, and I don't know, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And that's where it all goes to, and you know, we're just kind of working out the road ahead right now, but I think a lot of big things are coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. Our next big thing that we're saving for, because, you know, it took us a little while to save just for recording, but the next thing, you know, is touring vehicle, you know, and getting ready to hit the road after the album drops.
Definitely. The reception that you guys had thus far, you're talking about with, you know, kind of due to your live shows. How does that sort of, you know, motivate you guys as a band? You know, what sort of energy does that bring to each one of you guys when, you know, thinking about what to do next?
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, we're always, you know, not criticizing, striving for improvement. You know, we're always looking to see what we excel at, what we don't excel at, what works, what doesn't work. So we're always making improvements. And, you know, sometimes we'll come up with this brand new idea. I mean, we've had ideas, we had some crazy ideas that just never happened. For a good reason. You know, just because we would try them and they just would not work at all. And it's like we always strive to be different. You know, we don't want to do what, you know, some band's already doing or some band did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We want to be innovative and invent our own stuff, which is hard. I mean, it's like there's no chord that hasn't been played. There's, you know, you know, it's hard to do it in your own way, but that's what we strive to do, you know, because if you're already doing what somebody already did, you're already outdated, you know. We're not going to get to where we want to be if we're following the footsteps of somebody else. You know, obviously we take, you know, influences from people, but we always try to create our own work, our own sound, our own feel. And when we can, we try to do it differently. We always try to invent new ways to do something. You know, while, you know, our drum feature is, you know, we're very happy with it. You know, we're like, oh yeah, this is awesome. We're always trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to make it better? You know, we recently just did a new one, you know. We started off with, we did one for like almost 9 months. We didn't, during our downtime, so like, I don't know, a few shows, we did it, you know, quite a few shows, and we just recently changed it. And even now it's like, okay, how do we make it better? You know, what are we going to do differently?
Already.
Are we going to write, you know, a completely new one? You know, what are we going to do? We're still trying to, you know, improve on it, you know. Yeah. Right now we have them throwing a tambourine across the stage to one another to catch it, so they can switch what they're doing. You know, it's like we're always, you know, so, you know, I guess it's basically, you know, we're just trying to constantly improve, you know, constantly invent new ways to do things, constantly trying to make ourselves, you know, one step further of where we need to be. Anything, you guys?
And then, yeah, just like what you're saying is, I mean, you're just trying to make it the best experience possible for the fans. Like, that's what it's all about.
Right.
For me, like, you know, what I think of the fan reception stuff, it's crazy. Like, we have one song out right now, and still I'm able to look out into the crowds and see friendly faces and see people singing along to songs that aren't even released yet. And that is mind-blowing to me that people are that invested into it. And I don't know, for me, I appreciate it so much, the fact that, you know, here are some people who are coming out, they're dedicating their Friday night, their Saturday night. They could be anywhere in the world, and they value us and our music enough that that's where they choose to spend their time. And, you know, I there's no words I could ever use to express how much that support means to me, because it's impossible if it wasn't for these people that are supporting us.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and yeah, that's how I feel about the fans, and it's awesome that we're able to do what we love doing, something that we created that we're passionate about, and people share that passion, and we're not trying to dilute what we're doing to pander to anybody.
Yeah.
We're just doing what we want to do, and people like to enjoy that, you know. So,
Sorry. And for me, like, the way I feel after every single show, and as you know, you go out, you thank as many people as you can for coming to the show. Because, like he said, Friday, Saturday night, you know, they could do what you were doing last night instead of coming to see a show. You know,
Just go to some bar and get drunk.
Sure.
And do karaoke.
That sounds awesome.
Well, I mean, let's put it like this: there's bars at our shows. Just saying.
Yeah, that's true. But so you go, you thank everyone, everyone that you invited, everyone they invited, and you just have genuine conversation with all those people. You get to know them. That's one of the main things that I focus on doing after every show, because while they're investing their time in us, it's only fair to invest like our time in them as well. And I also, it's like, you want to make sure that they enjoyed the show. So I asked people like what they liked about it, or like, what they'd like to see us do next, because I always, the show is about fans. So that's what I always do after every show.
Yeah, I always love bands that have that sort of connection with their audience.
Exactly.
Kick it after the show. It's just always something that just it makes the whole experience much more better. And like, I'm the type of person where like you can always say, let the music speak for itself, and there's some people, some artists that choose to do that, but a lot of times, a lot of my favorite artists are ones that the whole experience, the way they handle themselves, the way they present themselves,
Exactly.
the way they treat their fans, that, all goes into one thing. And that's how a lot of my favorite bands are, is because I have things outside the music that are special to me about them.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the kind of like I would say literally every single day, I'm messaging at least a few fans and just talking to them. And I mean, it feels weird calling them fans, because I mean, it feels like they're my friends. And it's like, we've been delivering these tickets to the Crowfoot show, and it's nice. It's like, oh man, like, I usually wouldn't have like hung out with you normally, but I mean, you're buying a ticket, like, and then we just get to hang out for a couple hours, get to know them more, and it's just a fun process.
And it's awesome getting to know fans, because sometimes that ends up being your next favorite band you go and see live, is like, because this guy came and saw you, and then you talk to him, you learn about who he is, and you learn about his band, you go to see his band, you could discover your next favorite band, or his next band. His band could be your next favorite band. And I just think it's a really cool and like interpersonal connection.
But
All right, yeah, my turn.
No,
So-
my turn again.
All right, Tim. No, but for me, like, a big part of it is meeting people. Like, our songs are very personal, so I feel like people are connected to them in that way. So I'd like to actually, like, learn about the people that I'm, like, singing to and playing for. People that are coming out to see us. Like, I want to know their names, who they are, because they're not just a face out there. Like, they're an actual person. And so are we. Like, yeah, we are a band or whatever, but at the end of the day, we're just people, and, like, I'm out here to meet other people and to learn about everyone. Like, after our last song, every show we play, I just, like, run right into the crowd and, like, start talking to people while they clean my shit up.
It's true. And, we have it set up that way on purpose. And, I mean, this is why the name Stories Untold works so well with us, because that's what we want to do, is learn about people, learn, and not to be cliche, but their story, who they are.
It's kind of like always this thing where, like, once you create something, you almost want to know, like, the people who kind of are digesting what you've created.
Exactly.
Who are these people,
Yeah.
Like, why, what type of people like the stuff that I'm doing,
Exactly.
Because, I'm doing all this thing, it's very personal, and it comes from something deeper than me, but why does this person relate to something that's personal to me?
Definitely.
It's always amazing when, like, people interpret messages and songs way different than, you would have. And, like, even Jake, like, he writes these songs and he tells me, like, what they're about, but it's like, like, I've gone through some stuff in life, and next thing you know, I'm connecting with this song and I know what it's about, but that's not what it's about to me. It's you create your own meaning with it.
Yeah. Screw your meaning, Jake.
Yeah.
It's what Brennan
It's wrong.
wants now.
But I mean, it's for each individual.
Well,
so
he's
it's
laying
cool.
down for you.
Laying it down. But yeah, I mean, it's cool seeing like like what people feel, like like how they feel about our music. And it's cool that it makes them feel anything at all. So
Have you guys had any like just weird experiences with people at your shows? Anything just weird happen? Crazy?
Not since.
Oh, okay. I know there's this one. All right, yeah, I'm gonna tell this one. Back in the olden days, we were opening for the guitarist of Shinedown.
I knew it. This is what I was gonna say too.
Yep. And we were just kind of like just selling some CDs, like some bootlegs, a couple bucks each. And we're selling one. I went up to this middle-aged woman and I was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, would you like to buy a CD?" And
You sound so nice.
yeah, I was like, "Miss, it would mean a lot to me. It would help me feed my family." And she was a very supportive woman, and she was a little tipsy and a little on the flirtatious side as
A
well.
little bodacious.
Yeah, and so she was trying to take me to this fine establishment known as the Bathroom, and I was like,
You were 18 at the time?
I think I was 18. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, ma'am,
Legal,
as much
man.
as I would love to consent to your offer,
What was her offer?
I don't know. She's just dragging me away. I'm like, guys, help me!
Holy shit!
That was a fun one. I'm trying to think of any. I feel like there's had to have been some crazy stuff, but
I can't remember anything. I forgot about that. I must have repressed that one.
blocked it out. No, I'm the one who should have blocked it out.
There's been stuff at like other people's shows, but for our shows, I don't think there's really been.
Ours are just like a friendly, positive experience.
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't
like,
know.
yeah.
We sing Kumbaya. And
Just some heartwarming, just
Hey, let's all drink
Friendly.
tea and be sad. That's like,
That's my life.
One thing that we do is we've been doing lately for the last few shows, since it's like our brand is kind of like Stories Untold, and so it's kind of like tell your story, write your story, do what you want, and so
the hashtag tell your story.
yeah,
project.
so yeah, it's basically the Tell Your Story project, and
Hashtag.
what we do is at our merch booth you can write down just anything that you want. Lots of times it's funny stuff, lots of times it's jokes, Other times people have divulged like very serious things about their life. I mean, it's whatever you want to express. It doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be funny. It can be whatever. And yeah, it's cool. So that's just another way that we've been interacting with our fans. They draw pictures, and it's just cool to have people come up to the merch booth and just kind of write and tell us something about their life. Sometimes when you write things down, you can share things in a different way than in person. You can share things that you don't feel comfortable sharing, just over talking. So
Yeah, because it's completely, anonymous.
and it's we've been saving those. We actually uploaded some of those pictures to our Facebook, and it's just cool.
One person wrote the entire opening script to Avatar. That's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender. They wrote the entire script.
Everything changed with the Fire Nation attack, man.
it's awesome.
That was great.
What do you guys kind of envision the future to hold in the next couple of years for you guys?
We'll have toured across the U.S.
Yeah, definitely.
I
I don't know how egotistical this is gonna sound though.
I know.
We've toured the whole U.S. We opened for the new leg of the Motley Crue farewell tour.
A billion likes on Facebook.
Billion likes on Facebook.
A billion. That means
We toured-
5.66 million people have liked our page.
That means we're toured with Taylor Swift.
I'll
I
have,
said we were going to.
I'll have celebrity girlfriends.
There you go.
Might have some facial hair. But
I'll be
that's
Hillary Clinton. She's mine.
Actually, the whole point of this band is
Was Hillary the one trying to take you
I
guys
know
to the
where you,
bathroom?
hold on, you have to hear this. I know where he's
The whole
going.
No
point of
comment.
Jesus.
I didn't hear that.
just we're past it.
We're past that. Oh.
Okay, so Jake.
All right, Jake's
No,
got
the whole
story
point
time.
of the whole point of this band is so I can actually get Emma Roberts' phone number and so she'll notice me, but it hasn't happened yet. So we're still working on getting there.
Yeah.
Once
So
that
until,
happens-
Don't lose
basically,
hope.
until like with the beard, but
I know. I gotta work on that.
Yeah.
So basically, until we tour to California,
Basically,
then we're good.
maybe I don't know. I gotta compete with Evan Peters or how do you say his name? I don't care about him.
Peters.
Peters. But no, more seriously, I guess, I thought you were going for a knuckle touch there. You know,
Full circle. Full circle.
There
Yes.
there you go.
We just did a full circle fist bump.
We just connected on like a no beard wavelength.
The beard and the no beard are one.
I gave you my power.
It's coming soon, guys.
I feel
it.
it.
It's growing in right now.
Are we sure we're not all just high? I can hear my hair growing.
I can feel it coming through my face.
So the band in 2 years.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I was saying. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll all have beards by then. I mean, we're definitely hoping to leave Michigan for sure. We're definitely hoping that we're, you know, going to be much bigger than we are now. We've got so much stuff planned, you know, and we're really, like, we're working our asses off right now. Mm-hmm. And once we get everything rolling, we're going to be working 10 times harder than we are now, because this is what we want to do. This is what we want to make sustainable. This is where we want to take things in life. And it's like, you know, your own boss. You know, you got to have, you know, your own drive. You got to be able to push forward and be able to get people invested, you know, be able to play out at places you never played before, you know. And we're just hoping to be way bigger than we are now. We're hoping to take this thing as far as we possibly can.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's like, I guess, you know, like, I'm a college kid. I'm graduating this year. You know, like, I'm in math education right now, but up until March of last year, you know, I was going to I wanted to get into UC Berkeley. I was on track to go to UC Berkeley for math. That was my goal. And I chose instead, I'm like, I am choosing the band. You know, we're not going to happen to make it. It's like, we want to build this. I mean, and it's again, it's not about being big. I think that's just, if we do it right, we make the right decisions, and we just make the right calls, and we just keep the grind, keep the hustle, and just do everything we can to make the most quality music, and we just lay it down. Just lay it down. I think that that'll just kind of just get us to where we want to go, and we've been working hard, and we have a ton of people supporting us, and you know, I just think we just try to give back and support everybody else that supports us as well. It's like, you know, it's mutual. And I think we have the opportunity to do some huge things. I mean, we've already played with Let Live, and like, I have that band tattooed on my arm. Like, knock that off the bucket list. I mean, we've already done some amazing things with our career, so I can't wait to see where it goes.
Oh yeah. One of my end games for this, and I mean, not end game, but like one of those goals definitely is to eventually play with Taking Back Sunday. Like, that's a life dream for me, and I know for him it's from Indian Lakes.
Whatever.
We'll reach that goal.
Yeah.
We will.
But, yeah, anything else in 2 years that we're going to accomplish?
Have another album out.
Have 8 albums out.
8.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Are they all drum tracks?
No, they're we're gonna do like a folkcore album.
It's gonna be a death metal.
Folkcore.
Yeah, farmcore.
Farmcore.
We're gonna do
Hands Like Cows.
We're gonna do dubstep folk.
We got a whole list of those.
It's
Taylor Swift.
That was one of the greatest. That was one of the best.
Cow, no Captain Cow.
Cow, no Captain Cow.
Let's just not do this. Let's just do
Bad
it.
road
Next
to go
question.
down.
Let's just move on. This will
Band
not
of
end.
Horses already works though. Oh no.
All right, kind of, wrap up this interview.
Are you sure?
Sure. Okay, you guys just got any final thoughts, that you want to just get off your chest?
We got the plug.
Oh yeah.
The plug.
So the final thoughts is like us on all of our social. No, I was kidding.
Oh yeah, plug your shit.
So yeah,
on your socials and your on the web and whatever.
yeah. So we got the Accident Band for our Instagram.
No.
That is wrong.
Oh God! Oh God! I've made a big mistake. Oh God!
Dylan's leaving.
Cut that out of the interview, please, God.
That did not just happen. Anyway.
Somebody else plug socials. I'm done.
All right.
Dylan, come here.
Oh,
He's got a knife. He's gonna stab me for those words I just spoke.
All right. So for our Facebook and Instagram, they're both Stories Untold Band. Twitter, Stories Untold Michigan.
MI.
Yeah.
Stories Untold MI.
Okay.
And then we're gonna be on Spotify and iTunes
With the release
soon enough.
With the release of that music video and single, Things Change.
Yep, we'll be on YouTube for the music video.
Our website's storiesuntoldband.com.
Yeah. Dylan's just stroking the knife right now. All right. Any other ones?
Kill you.
He's just gonna kill us in general, or me in particular.
It'll be an accident.
And then
Wait, I don't get what that was about.
That was their old band name.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to the Accident Band, it'll.
If you go to that
Redirect
page,
you.
we did own all of the. I turned the Accident Band into just a redirect for the new one, but don't go there.
I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah.
yeah. And Things Change is going to be released. That's next Friday. Yeah, the 19th?
No, 22nd.
22nd, yeah.
It's my birthday. Happy birthday to me.
I'm sorry.
Your birthday's on the 22nd?
Yeah.
Mine's on the 23rd. Mine's next Saturday.
You guys need to get drunk together.
I'm doing it up next Saturday. All I know.
Yep, so the release of Things Change is February 22nd with the music video. Then we'll be releasing the...
January. Good try.
January. Damn it. And then we're releasing Are You Gonna Be My Girl cover. And then
-2.
Oh.
-2. Oh, okay.
You're trying to do like
I thought it was
All right.
21 Pilots. All right. And then...
You guys are awesome.
yeah.
Want to just name other bands while we're at
I'm working on it. I'm
From Indian
working on
Lakes?
it. From Indian Lakes. I like how he talked into it too. And then we got our show February 13th at the Crowfoot.
Oh, I guess closing thoughts for me, like genuinely, that February 13th show, I'm really excited for that. And beyond that, I'm just very, very excited for the future. And I just can't wait to see where this goes. I mean, I never thought it'd be possible to do this my entire life. It's been a dream forever to be like, in a band doing that. And now I'm like, wow, that's happening.
And then, so yeah, we're releasing all that. And then our album name is Can't Go Home. Just gonna go ahead and throw that in there real quick.
whatever.
Can we talk about Tim's socks?
Which ones?
The ones you're wearing.
Oh,
What kind of fucking question is that?
Because I have a whole drawer full.
He's looking right at your feet. I'm like, can we talk about Tim's?
I thought I was wearing the ducky one.
Wait, what are these?
I don't know. What are they?
Put your foot up.
They're blue.
Put your foot up.
They're not blue.
Put your foot up.
Tim,
Oh,
you're colorblind.
that's right. Tim is officially colorblind.
They're like an aqua.
I'm also a painter.
He's a colorblind. That's not a joke.
See?
Yeah, it's like so.
Yeah, we're
sorry,
like painting tomorrow.
Oh, you saw my hands? Oh, shit. The secret's out.
Alright.
Lay it
Lay it
down.
out.
That's what they are now.
That's going to be a thing from now on. I hope you know that.
That's why I laid it down like that.
Laid it down.
And then, what size are you? Shirt.
Large.
Okay.
Large and in charge. I can get you a large shirt right now.
Okay.
Got it.
To
You heard it
match
here
my-
first.
To match my
Show them the
bracelet.
designs first, because I can't really,
Yeah, if you want to pull up my phones.
Pull up the designs. Showing Kelly the shirts. You heard it here first.
You guys are still recording.
This is the
This is live.
This is fine.
He gets the whole bin during the recording.
I'm gonna take it with me. All right, but yeah, thanks for you guys are a nice, wholesome, young band, you know. So interesting.
Definitely interesting.
But yeah, thanks for chatting with me.
Oh, thanks for having us,
thank you.
man.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming out.
Cool.
So that was my interview with Stories Untold. Such a great group of fellas. Definitely support those cats. They got an album coming out this spring, so be on the lookout for that. If you'd like to support the Fresh is the Word podcast, you can go to our website, which is freshasthepodcast.com, and there's a link at the top that says support the podcast. And on that page, there is a PayPal link that you can donate to, or there is a Amazon link on there that you can use anytime that you want to purchase anything on Amazon. Use that link, and after you make your purchases, Amazon will shoot some commission back to me. I'll just go to help the show. Also, I definitely appreciate all the listens, and if you definitely want to share the links to the website, freshasthepodcast.com, or any of the links on SoundCloud, that's definitely appreciated and will definitely help support the podcast. You can also reach Fresh is the Word on the social medias at Instagram and Twitter at Fresh is the Word 1. That's Fresh is the Word number 1. And on Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/freshasthepodcast and give us a like on that page. We're also on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, so go ahead and search Fresh is the Word on there. Go ahead and subscribe to us. And it also would be very helpful if you go onto iTunes and give us a 5-star rating and throw some comments on there. Thanks for listening, and see you soon.
Fresh is the word.